Hey, this is Al from Transformational Gaming. Appreciate you coming by. Appreciate you coming to the channel. Today we are talking Jensen Huang. But before we get into all of that, I'd like to thank you for subscribing to the channel. The channel has grown immensely since the last time I was on here, and my hopes are is that we can keep growing. This is also take two of this as well. because I was able to buy me a new microphone, and now I don't have to try to hold the microphone. But I like the way this microphone sounds. I've done some testing on it, and so anyway, comment, like, subscribe if you like what we're doing here on the channel. But today, I wanted to talk to you guys about Jensen Huang. Now, Jensen Huang has gone through a lot of showing different sides of his character, right? So Jensen Huang is kind of like a diplomat. You know, he's a diplomat, he's a CEO, and I think he's actually done pretty good with President Trump. When I first did my first cut of this, a lot of things was a lot different. Right now, you know, we're dealing with the Supreme Court issue with the tariffs, which Jensen Huang has been doing an excellent job interceding with Trump and trying to help out with the tariffs in that aspect. One could say he's responsible for all of the exceptions that the United States is giving out to Nvidia and other TSMC type of China products. And so that stuff had not came up. We also have passed the State of the Union. That had not came up as well. And so a lot of things have changed since the last time I made my first take on this. And I was ready to edit through it, but I said, you know what, we might as well get a better mic on here, and we might as well update the information we got instead of making two videos. So I'm kind of glad that I held on to this video for editing and whatnot. So hopefully we can get into it. But yes, Jensen Huang is more of a diplomat, and I think that's why he won, Times Man of the Year, right? You can see him talking. He's very intelligent, man. But I think the shine is kind of gone off the bloom of the flower, right? I want to say probably like a year ago from today, Jensen Huang was at an all-time high. I think they recently did a stock split as recently as I want to say a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years. And the stock has really been doing good. I think today, as of today, they're up almost at their all-time high. They're having a hard time breaking through 200. And I think because people see the good side and bad side of AI, right? And they look at Nvidia and they like, where did this company come from? Well, in reality, Jensen Huang came from us. Like, we birthed Jensen Huang. The video game industry birthed Jensen Huang into existence. And now you see, just like MGK, he started off as a rapper and then he blew up, and now he's a rock star, And people go through those evolutions, and I'm not hating on MGK or Vincent Wong, but I think people are seeing the downside of AI, and being that we birthed him into existence, there is kind of like some skepticism to his existence now, because this dude came in as a video game developer for Sega, and then he ended up producing video cards for PC and eventually for the Dreamcast. Then he gets into the the GTX, and then the the RTX now, and we get into machine learning. Then we get into AI. AI, is used for more than video games, and people are now hopping aboard that train. The millennials, people like Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook, the Apples, the Googles, they're all getting into the AI business. And you can say that, Jensen Huang is the godfather of AI, which is cool. But, there's some downside to AI. AI is very expensive on all fronts, right? When you when you borrow, and I'm not saying it's Jensen Huang's fault, but when you borrow the sizable money that he's borrowing, and don't get me wrong, I understand accounting wise why Nvidia is borrowing so much money, but the borrowing that they're doing as an industry, if an industry starts to borrow trillions and trillions of dollars, never mind if they can afford to pay it back with interest, but that puts pressure on the entire economy. But as a country, I mean, you're servicing a lot of debt for an industry. I mean, they're borrowing trillions of dollars. It ain't like they just borrowing a little bit of money. A lot of these companies are worth $1 or $2 trillion, and I'm talking about the Apples and the Nvidias. They are worth, trillions of dollars, and they can leverage their worth in stock and in other assets that they own. They can leverage that and borrow money. But as as an industry, as a market, that puts a lot of pressure on inflation. It just does. And Trump, which is another attachment that goes along to Jensen. I mean, his attachment to Trump is, Trump is in the Epstein files. So any attachment to Trump is not going to make you look good, which understandably, I understand why he's, attached to Trump as far as Trump's policies and stuff. Him being able to convince Trump to lobby for Nvidia, that requires a lot of talent, and him being honored for time, that goes without saying. I mean, this for that, he's magnificent. But in his magnificence, I think that him attaching himself to Trump, which he has somewhat distanced himself, like you don't see him going to the White House, or at least him announcing he's going to the White House, right? He's a billionaire, man, and that's probably another knock on Jensen. He can get into places that other people can't get into, and a lot of people are looking at him sideways and saying, wow, you've accumulated a lot of wealth. What are you gonna do with it? But Jensen is seen as a conduit to AI. And even though last night's State of the Union, Trump had announced, hey, look, we're going to require these companies to pay for their own electricity and not put pressure on the citizens. But I think that that's going to be more difficult than what the president is thinking. The president is thinking, well, if they pay for their own stuff, then that's going to be good. The problem is electricity is what they call a resource. So it doesn't matter how you pay for it or what parameters you use to pay for it. When you have a resource like electricity, everybody's involved regardless. And if you're using a lot of resources, everybody's going to feel the squeeze. You know what I mean? It's like the internet, right? If your neighbor is pulling down a lot of large files, right? And you're not pulling that much files, but you notice your internet is running slower. It doesn't matter if he's paying for his internet or not, right? He might be paying more for his internet, but your stuff is still going to slow down. Why? Because you are a part of the grid. And so no matter what or how much somebody like Nvidia is going to pay for electricity, they're always going to have a network effect on bottom line, which means that regardless what they do, how much they pay, unless they subsidize people's electricity bill, right? Which would be nice. But from what I heard from Trump last night, that's not going to help the rising cost of electricity. Nvidia will have to be subsidizing electricity costs for residents in order to make a difference in payment. Those are the kind of the downsides of AI as in a whole. There's a lot of downside. People think that AI is going to fundamentally, change the job market, which, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm kind of a skeptic on that because I think it's going to cause job change, but it's not going to cause job losses into the point where people are not going to be able to find jobs. There's always going to be jobs available, but just say, for instance, like if Nvidia, improves on this language model to be able to produce code, as needed, there's always going to have to be some type of human there to test the code or to put in human real world scenarios to test the code, right? Environments, right? You need environments to test this code. And I just don't believe machines, computers, LLMs, whatever you want to call it, right? I just don't believe they've gotten to the point where they're able to understand the real world impact of certain code in certain environments and be able to test it all phases of constraint of the code. So I think you're going to always have need for developers. Our jobs may change because me as a developer, right? People are scared that, AI is going to take my job. I don't think AI will ever take my job. And I could be wrong. I could be out of a job next year as a developer, right? But, for the most part, I just don't believe that AI is at this point in time, and I'm going to preface this by saying at this point in time, able to do my job and do it effective as I can do it. Because, like I said, you got to be able to test in the data server or the whatever VMs they're using, their data centers or whatnot. That stuff corrodes, and can't really no robots go out and go in and manufacture a hard drive and put it inside of said data center. So I mean, you need human engineers to engineer that stuff out. I just don't believe computers are able to do the things that I'm able to do. Let me know what y'all think about that. But yeah, that's another issue that people are looking at Jensen and like, man, I'm tired of hearing about AI. So yeah, but I don't know. I'm not gonna make this video too long because I haven't put up nothing in a while and stuff. So I mean, I've been putting up videos of me playing video games, but I haven't really put out a video like this. So tell me what y'all think about Jensen Huang. I still look at him as a genius, but I think the bloom is falling off the rose a little bit. I don't think people look at AI and say, wow, this is something that I would like to have in my house. I think people use AI. I use AI. AI is very useful when it comes to ancillary situations, code structures. But I don't have to write code from scratch anymore. AI provides me with a great template to start from. And so that's really all you can ask for at this point as a developer. And I think it's awesome, man. And, but some of you guys may have a different view of AI. Just let me know what y'all think about it. Man, this arm and this microphone is doing wonders. I'm hoping I don't have to do a lot of different editing to the video. But yeah, man, this is feeling real good. So pause. So yeah, tell me what y'all think about my microphone. Are y'all hearing me clearly? I guess I'll know when I go back and edit this video. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. This is Al from Transformational Gaming. Until next time, may the truth set you free.